I'm going to open up a web browser. I've gotten into the habit of always using incognito, so I know I'm not ever wrestling with cache stuff. So I'm going to use the browser console. If I do inspect, click on this console tab here, I'm going to use this to experiment and try out some ideas with code. And I'm actually just going to go to a real site. I'm going to go to a specific site. I'm going to go to apple.com, but before we go to apple.com, I want to show you why. If I go to any other site, most other sites have a bunch of garbage that spills out into the console, and I don't want to have to deal with that. I know if I go to a site like apple.com, it's going to be clean. Nothing's going on there. Nothing's logging, or there's no errors or anything like that. So I've been tasked with working on a feature where I need to develop a way to track users. And I'm not going to get into the details of everything that we're tracking, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to have it log a message here. I'm going to use a template string so that when I call it, I can pass it a name and it logs out track user brand switcher. What I wanted to show was this additional setting that most mainstream browsers support, do not track. I'll show you what that looks like programmatically. If I try to reach into do not track, you'll see right now it's null because I haven't set anything in Chrome to say that I don't want to be tracked. But let's say, for instance, I went into the settings, privacy and security, cookies and other site data. There's this send a do not track request for your browsing traffic. I'm going to turn that on so that now you'll see there's a 1, which means navigator.doNotTrack is true, whereas before null is like saying it's false. So with that, I can now incorporate that in my code. Say I use it to dynamically set up a verb. Navigator, do not track. So my verb is do not track. If it is true, I want my verb to be ignore, as in I'm not tracking it. So if it's false, my verb's going to be track. So I'm either tracking or ignoring based on the value of navigator.doNotTrack. So instead of hard coding track here, I'm going to track verb. Now when I call ignore user Brian Swisher, but if it'll say track user Brian Swisher. So now my function will look at the setting in the user's browser and make the determination of should it be tracking or should it be ignoring this user.